Florida's Trump-loving governor, Republican Ron DeSantis, is currently drafting legislation that would, I guess you would say, tighten the rules for what kind of protests are allowed in the state. Essentially, DeSantis is trying to curtail our First Amendment freedoms, our right to assembly. And now he's taking it a step further. Not only is it going to be okay for some people to be killed during these events, but also if you commit a minor crime now during any kind of assembly, you can also be shot, according to the new draft legislation that was obtained by the Miami Herald and reported on also by the New York Post. And this is from the New York Post. A draft of Governor Ron DeSantis' proposed bill expands the list of forcible felonies, which means felonies they can kill you for committing, under Florida's self-defense law to include criminal mischief, causing, quote, interruption or impairment of a business, according to the Miami Herald, which obtained a copy through records request. It also specifically allows force against those looting, which the draft defines as burglary within 500 feet of a, quote, violent or disorderly assembly. DeSantis also wants to make it a third-degree felony to block traffic during a protest and offer immunity to drivers who accidentally kill or injure protesters who do so. Numerous other sections enhance criminal penalties for people involved in violent or disorderly assemblies and withhold state funds from local governments that cut law enforcement funding. Here's the thing. Florida, and I know this because I've lived here for my entire life, we haven't had the protests, the assemblies, the rioting or looting that have taken place in some cities across the country. So I don't know where this is coming from. The things that he has described aren't happening in the state of Florida. But the punishments that he's wanting to implement, those absolutely happen in fascist regimes. Yeah. I mean, isn't this kind of part of the plot of Aladdin, right? Oh, he gets caught shoplifting, so they're gonna cut his hand off? Hell, even that is actually more tame than what Ron DeSantis wants to do to somebody who goes and maybe takes a couple of $100, petty larceny from a big box store that pulls in billions and billions and billions of dollars each year. But if you walk in there and you take something as part of looting or a disorderly assembly, and that word is key, disorderly, because that is a word that isn't specifically defined. That could be defined by any law enforcement official at any given time. Perhaps you think playing music a little too loud is disorderly. Cool. Now you can shoot anybody within 500 feet of there who shoplifts. Maybe disorderly is just too many people gathered in one area. Now you can shoot anybody who shoplifts within 500 feet of that area. Do you see where I'm going with this? Using that word, disorderly, is what is going to give these police officers clearance to do these things. And again, the only upside is that this isn't actually happening in Florida. Ron DeSantis, this little, I'm not going to go there, but anyway, this little fraction of a man wants to feel like a big tough guy for a few seconds. So he says, look at me, I'm so tough on crime. You mess with us, we're going to get you back. That felt good for a moment. That's what this kind of guy is. That's why people do this crap. It's the only way they can feel, like they have a little bit of power for a few seconds. That's it. That's why. This is going to get people killed. This is an absolute violation of our constitutional rights, and people will die as a result of it. And for the first time in my life, I'm done with this state. As I've already said, I've lived here my whole life. I friggin' hate it now. It is disgusting. Our government is disgusting. The nepotism in our politics is disgusting. It's nepotism that actually gave us Matt Gaetz, who would have otherwise been busted on at least one major DUI. But because his daddy was a politician here and his daddy helped to get a police officer fired, the one who pulled Matt Gaetz over, yeah, it's all nepotism all throughout this state. It's sick. It's disgusting. And a majority of the residents here are actually okay with it. I'm not. I'm looking for a new place to live. And it's because of idiots, of fascists like Ron DeSantis that are pushing good, decent people like myself and my family out of this state that we have called home for a hell of a lot longer than a lot of these fascists have.